Andre, there's a battle between two underdog teams to play in red.
Yes, Salah returns home to Rome. Find out more in 1 minute. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Extra Time TV. This is Andres.
I'm Kevin Campbell.
The tournament that everybody's talking about, the champ to get this far, and anybody who says otherwise, except us, because we predicted it. But anyway, just, you know, nobody really saw Liverpool and Roma having the seasons they were having. Liverpool just seemed to be on an upward trajectory. Roma is finally showing, you know, what they're capable of. You know, Kevin and I look at Syria, so we know that Roma was always a strong team. Kevin, this is a very, very, very mouth-watering clash for me. So tell me what you think about this.
Andrew, I can't wait. It's a battle of Boston, really, because both teams have ties to the Fenway Group. Both owners are from Boston, so that's a very intricate piece of commercial revenue and a bit of...
Perfect.
Yeah,
is it Polata?
Yeah, it's ideal, really. But when you look at the matchup, I mean, it's going to take place at Anfield, first leg. Going to be a great atmosphere. But Roma, I think coming into the game, Roma will have to bank on their midfield, because in my opinion, their midfield is stronger than that of Liverpool. When you pair De Rossi, Kevin Strootman, and Nainggolan together, there's not many midfields in Europe better than that one. So key will be get that midfield on the ball, get them forward, because if Liverpool can push those players back, then it's going to be trouble. If you have an instance where Liverpool, they push the midfield back and the back four, you have a 7 in the back and those 3 attackers being isolated. So to me, the key is for Roma to actually get out and be confident. Because Roma haven't been in this stage since 1984. And who knocked them out? Liverpool in the final. Yeah, when Liverpool won that European Cup as done back then.
Take that, fact finders.
Yep. And the Romans, I think, coming into Anfield, they have to show no fear. Because if they do, they will get pummeled. If they show no fear, if they rely on that strength of Kostas Manolas and Fazio in the back, then they can go forward. Guys like Kolarov and Dzeko played in this atmosphere before. Those two guys, Man City stalwarts, they just showed experience in this sort of atmosphere. Because Andre, Edin Dzeko, I think he's as good as anyone in holding the ball up. He can run the channels, he can do everything. He's a complete centre forward. So I think Dzeko needs to be there and present, raffling guys like Van Dijk and on the ball. So if they raffle Van Dijk and Lovren, then they can get more prize and actually score a bit of goals at Anfield. But it's hard to call. Why? Because Liverpool, their play is so dynamic and so mouth-watering.
Yes, I don't even know where to even start with this game, but Liverpool's offense is fantastic. But the one thing Roma has finally showed, and you use the word confidence, they always seem to be a bit, you know, what should I say, on tippy toes, walking on eggshells. They lack that confidence. I think they had that fear. And Juventus, to an extent, for a couple of years had that problem. And when they started to really play their game, they got results. You saw it against Real Madrid with Juventus. You saw it with Roma against Barcelona. They played to their strengths. And as I said in the last preview, that in a lot of ways, losing that first leg sort of freed them up psychologically. They didn't have that psychological burden of worrying about the result, which I think all teams have to worry about in these sort of ties. That first leg, you know, both teams are tense. They're trying to feel each other out. They don't want to make mistakes. You know, these really big teams are confident and they attack. And usually the teams that take initiative usually get results. I think Liverpool's offense ideally the counter or the yin or the yang to Roma's defensive setup with Fazio and so on. I would love to see Salah and those guys go up against that Roma setup, and I could see Roma counter-attacking with that blitz of a midfield trio, that forcefulness of Nainggolan. I always pronounce his name ridiculous. He is a key player for them. I could see him exploiting that gap when Liverpool attacks, because make no mistake, they are going to attack. Klopp doesn't know any other way, but it works. It's not like it's reckless attacking. And, you know, Liverpool definitely tightened up their defense. We said at the beginning of the season that was one of their weak points. They could not stop leaking goals. And I could see players like, Dzeko, roughing up physically the defenders, and he complements that pacey style with guys like Perotti shooting up the wings and penetrating inside. Because one of the things, Mancini bought this guy from, was he at Wolfsburg, I think?
Yes.
Right, and for a reason, and a lot of people was like, why is he buying this guy? And I was a huge fan of him back then. He didn't really perform to his potential at Man City. They were a club in transition, but now people are starting to see what he's capable of. And a lot of people wrongfully look at strikers just for their goal scoring prowess. There's other aspects to his game. Just like, well, it's more difficult to defend Gonzalo Higuain. But, you know, he has other dimensions that we speak about in strikers where he can hold up the play. He's very physical. He draws defenders towards him. And I think that will be a true asset because Liverpool plays at high energy and as Klopp likes to call it, heavy metal football.
Boom.
Raw.
Heavy metal football.
But he likes to play that style of football. And this, to me, it's the perfect matchup. Roma, you know exactly they're going to play with a very organized defensive style. And I don't like to use the word defensive anymore because of the stereotype Italian teams defend. And they're very good at defending and don't write off Italians. I don't like that anymore. That gets me annoyed because they are very tactical and they're very offensive. They're very organized. And that I think the first game is at Anfield. Klopp is going to attack. And I think that's going to play into the hands of Roma. And I go back to my first point. Roma needs to be confident, play their game because their confidence has to be high. Very much like when Inter Milan played Barcelona back in 2010. You know, a lot of people kept writing them off. And after they defeated Barcelona, I knew they were going to win the Champions League because of that confidence. And I have a feeling that that is exactly what Roma needed. And Klopp needs to get it right. Because the flexibility of Roma, I think, will be the difference, Kevin.
Yeah, Andre, we know Liverpool's going to come with that attacking football. But the onus is on Eusebio Di Francesco, the Roma manager. Because his flexibility is adamant and really good. Because when you look at the last tie against Barcelona, at the new camp, he plays customary 4-3-3. But in the return leg, at the Olympico, he went with 3-5-2. A complete contrast to what he usually goes with. And it absolutely got on the skin of Barcelona. Because you had the three centre-backs. Juan Jesus, the former Inter guy, he came in alongside Fazio and Manolas. You had your wing-backs, Kolarov included. Your dynamic front midfield three. And up top, he started Patrick Schick, the Czech Republic guy, who I really like how he plays. Andre, his first touch is as good as anyone. He's tall, lanky. He's like a mix between Zlatan and Mido. It's like that sort of mix he has, and a great left foot. He partnered Dzeko in the front too, and that created havoc for Piqué and Umtiti because 2-on-2, they couldn't handle that. So I can't wait to see what Di Francesco has up his sleeve for Liverpool because he can change his formations great. He did that for Sassuolo. Remember when they had Berardi and those guys and Zaza at that time?
Zaza.
So he's that astute a manager to change his entire philosophy and be meaningful because after the Barca game, he reaped praise on himself for changing that formation. So I can't wait to see what Di Francesco does at Anfield and in return leg. So I think that the onus is on Francesco. Klopp, we know what he's going to come with, but let's see what Roma, how they line up, how they approach it, because that's, to me, is the turning factor in this tie.
Yeah, and on a lighter side, you know, a lot of people mention that Klopp and Di Francesco they are like exaggerations of each other just by physical appearance. They both have the glasses, they both high energy on the sideline, they have beards, and I was like, I kind of, if I blink my eyes like this, I could see what they're speaking about. But I like his style. He's exactly what Italian football needs. I love how he chose players that suits his system. Like Juan Jesus is a player who was at Inter Milan and he flourished in a back three system. He cannot, for some reason, he does not work in a back four system. He cannot be that guy in a centre back pairing. It works. So when he signed him, I was like, oh, okay, I could see Fazio as well. Fazio is not a very pacey player. You can't put him on a flat back. He can do it, of course. But he's perfect for these kind of systems. His technical characteristics work fine. And this is where I love to see specialized defending. It's really exciting. I know a lot of people focus on the offensive style. But to see these guys defend and attack at the same time is something that I truly admire as a player. I always favor defensive players. And every player he chose works. When he signed Perotti as well, you and I sang praises about that.
I love Perotti.
Perotti is a lovely winger. A lot of people mix him on Piatti, another Argentine, but no, it's Perotti. You know, this I just would love. I love Italian managers for this because you could see they have different solutions. Now Pep plays amazing football. Klopp plays amazing football, but you know what Pep is going to come with, and that's one of my criticisms, and that is me really nitpicking because I love Pep's style of football, don't misunderstand. Yeah. But, you know, Italian managers, and Jose Mourinho and others to extent, but generally Italian managers are not afraid to tinker and try things, and when you play an Italian team, you really can't say it, much like Allegri last year. Juventus had different solutions. and I love it. I absolutely love it. So Kevon, I'm getting excited like a schoolgirl. I feel like a schoolgirl again. But if there's a player, I mean, there's so many players we could talk about. A player that stands out for each team. Which are those guys?
Andre, for Roma, I'm going to choose Cengiz Under, the Undertaker.
Oh,
because,
I like him.
Yeah, I mean, cutting inside, left-footed shot, pacey, tricky. The future of Turkish football is Cengiz Under. And I think at Anfield, if Di Francesco plays him at the customary 4-3-3, he can create havoc because he's going to be up against Robertson. And I think that cutting inside, Robertson likes to attack, he can exploit that space. For Liverpool, I'm going to go with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Why? Because Chambo, as he's known, he hasn't upped his gear a lot because early in the season, again, didn't settle in good, but second half of the season, he has been a link between midfield and attack. That driving force. If you look at that game Liverpool played over the weekend against Southampton, and that Champions League game, Chamberlain was a guy that surged forward with the ball because he's strong, a powerful runner, and unleashes shots from outside the box. So I think Chamberlain can be that key if Roma decide to anchor that midfield with those three.
Yeah.
Chamberlain can be the guy out of the Liverpool three, the others being Milner, either Wijnaldum or Henderson, to break forward and to get himself in the box to support that fantastic front three of Liverpool. So those two guys, I'm going to select. Andre, what do you say?
Well, I'm going to go with a bit it's probably going to be the easy guess, I guess. You know, how could we not talk about, you know, Salah? You know, he's the man. He's on fire. Yeah. And the reason why I'm going to talk about him, he is the talk of the town in football right now. The world, the entire world. You know, he's just scoring goals for fun. He's exciting to look at. He's one of England has been looking. The EPL has been looking for that guy. That star player that they could talk about, you know. Spain had Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi and those guys, you know. Italy, not so much lately, but, you know, England has been looking for that star player that is really exciting and catches the headlines, and I'm seeing they're starting to do the hype. I think his creativity and his confidence will be extremely important, and also the fact that the little dynamic that, you know, that's his old club. So it has a bit of sentiment there. We'll see how he reacts, because some players react differently when they play their home clubs. Sometimes they rise to the occasion and crush their home clubs. Yeah. Some players kind of, you know, buckle under the pressure. So for me, it's Salah for obvious reasons. Everybody who's looking at football now will see. And for Roma, I'm going to go with something a bit different. I'm going to go with, I can't say two players. I'll have to choose one. Fazio. Because these are the games where players like these don't get the attention they deserve. Because make no mistake, he's going to get a serious workout. His confidence is going to be high. I mean, Messi and those guys had a hard time breaking him down. You know, Argentine international. Probably he's going to go to the World Cup. And
You're going to start with Otamendi, I think.
Yeah. So I think that's probably, you know, one half of the Argentine duo at the back. And I would love to see him go up against Salah. So offense versus defense. Sure, there's other dynamics, but for me, I think those are the two players to watch. I know Fazio may not be everyone's first choice, but he's mine. I think he's perfect. And some notable mentions, obviously, Perotti and, you know, Dzeko and those guys. So that's it for me. So Kevon, how do you think the first leg is going to end up?
I see a 2-1 to Liverpool. I think that the Reds, Liverpool that is, they're going to score, but Roma, they're plucky and they can't get out of the goal.
So I think it's probably going to be a 1-1. I think Roma is going to get that crucial away goal and head back home. And I mean, I don't want to say they'll finish the job. I don't want to be premature based on the last legs, but I think this game will be settled in the second tie. I really can't see a large goal-scoring landslide. So I think it's going to be tight. Liverpool is going to score, and Roma is going to get that crucial away goal, which I think will eventually make a huge impact on the overall leg.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Dr. Hislop. I'm both a regular contributor and viewer of Extra Time TV because I like my sports with a Trinidad flavor. Not only do I get the local sports, but also get international football with the local take on it, and that I enjoy as much as anything.
Okay.